Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Thank you for joining us this morning. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Cascade Hoop Talk. And please subscribe to this podcast. Hit the like button. Let's spread the word on NAIA basketball. Today, across the country, teams are hitting the stride in practice, and by now they're getting sick and tired of playing each other in practice. They're tired of scrimmaging. It's almost time to fill those stands, enjoy the best entertainment value in America, NAIA basketball. Joining us today will be James Long. He's third-year head coach at West Virginia Tech, the Golden Bears. We're going to talk about their River States Tournament Championship last season, take a look at this season's Golden Bears. Strong run at the end of last season, won the River States Conference, and eventually fell to Shawnee State. Coach Long will join us in just one moment, so hang on. We'll be right back. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D back here. Hey, I'm excited to have James Long, head coach, West Virginia Tech Golden Bears. Welcome, Coach Long. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on here.
Coach Long, last season had several fits and starts. You really couldn't get a rhythm. The COVID thing, not knowing where you were going to play or when you're going to be able to play. But toward the end of the season, you really got it together. You eventually defeated Rio Grande for the River States Championship. Can you talk about last season leading up to that conference tournament, how frustrating it may have been?
Yeah, there was a lot of frustration. There was a lot of gratitude. We were happy to be there, be playing. We were one of the couple teams that was playing. Some teams out west weren't playing conference play. We had Indiana East who didn't play. Kokomo only played about 3 games in league. So we were very happy and, thankful to be playing. But at the same time, like you said, with playing, there's a lot of frustration. Last year was the definition of a roller coaster of emotions. And I think that we hit our stride towards the end of the year. And that says everything about our guys, the resilience they've showed to not have a preseason and play and figure some things out and take your lumps and deal with quarantine and keep getting better. And it, like I said, man, it just says everything about our guys, about our staff, and everybody's just bought into getting better here. So lucky to be a part of it.
Well, you hadn't played that many games when the conference tournament came around. How did you feel going into the River States Conference tournament? How'd you feel about your chances there?
I think that we weren't necessarily in a good place. We had just lost to Point Park, and they're a good team, but, we just had come off a loss going into the conference tournament. So we kind of regrouped, we got together, and we always knew what we needed to do. It's just that you need game reps during COVID to, find your identity as a team. And I think going into the conference tournament, we kind of knew what we needed our identity to be, and kind of got the older guys together and talked about it, and they did a really good job executing it. I thought their attention to detail going into the conference tournament is what stood out to me. There's a lot of clarity we were operating on, and they did a good job understanding who we were, which I don't think we did leading up into the conference tournament. So we were very hit or miss during the year, and then, like I said, I think everybody just kind of got on the same page and understood who we needed to be and went out there and executed it, because we got better as that conference tournament went on. And honestly, I thought we got better national tournament, and how we went on from there, we just ran into Shawnee and, a couple shots here, a couple shots there. And, I got to tell Coach Thomas, I got nothing but respect for Shawnee. They do things the right way, and they knew who they were. And I think that's the biggest compliment you can give anybody, is that they know who they are.
Yeah, you got to that, congratulations on another national tournament bid. You got past Rochester in that first round. Like you say, you ran into Shawnee State, again, a very good team. But, you were right there. And in the middle of the second half, you were able to pull even. But it just seemed like every time you were able to get within one possession, they could get a score. It just you just could never get over the hump.
Yeah, I think it goes back into what I was saying too. They knew who they were. It was 2 teams that I feel like were in a really good place, and were getting better, and knew who they were and executed. And it was just a battle of identities, leading up to the end of the game. And we had a couple mishaps. They did a really good job. like I said, a couple shots here, a couple shots there. Obviously, we feel like we could have done things to win the game, and they obviously, feel like they did what they needed to do to win the game. And it was a battle, man. It was tough for me to watch. It took me like probably 2 months to go back and watch it. But man, we lost to a great team.
Yeah.
I mean, I told them, and I don't know everything, but I told them after the game, I said, man, you guys go get that national championship, because they had everything, and they had a great culture. So it was cool to watch them go on and kind of get what they deserve.
So, Coach, it's got to be nice to be back in the gym. I'm assuming the guys are getting sick and tired of scrimmaging and playing each other. I'm sure they're ready to play some hoop. You've got several, I think pretty much your whole team is coming back, right?
Yeah, we got everybody back. Added a transfer from University of Charleston, Sal Diop, 6'9" guy, kind of more versatile than you'd think, on first instinct, and he's just a great kid. I think more than anything, he comes in and he fits who we are as people here, and we just love seeing him every day, love being around him. And then Gunnar Short is a transfer from Rio Grande. He was here last year, he just couldn't play, and he's getting back healthy. He had some injuries, and once he gets back and gets healthy, I think towards the end of the year, he's going to obviously be able to help us, because he has experience in the league and knows what it's about, and has done well in the league. So we're excited to add him to the mix as well too.
Well, yeah, that'll really help. He having the experience in the River States Conference. But you've got really your core group is very, very good. Tamon Scruggs, 16 points, 6.5 rebounds, 43% from 3 last year. How much better is he going to be this year?
Tamon keeps getting better. I mean, he's always been I knew him in high school, and Tamon has always been a guy who's been able to score the ball. His hand-eye coordination is incredible. I mean, it really is. It's as good as anyone I've been around. And even then, like how someone that's as good as he is right now, it's very small. It's very marginal, like how he can get better. And I think that, he's doing all the small things it takes to get better, because there's only so much he can do. And he's committed to those small changes that he needs to do to get better going into his last year. So we're excited to see the type of year he has.
Coach, before we leave Tamon, I mean, he's only 6'4", but he's your leading rebounder. Kind of unusual to have a guy shooting 43% from 3, 6.5 rebounds a game. Is he just quick, a great good leaper, had nose for the ball? I mean, how does he end up your leading rebounder?
Like you said, he just has a knack for the ball. He understands how to play. He's been around basketball his whole life. His dad was a phenomenal basketball player, and he just knows where it's going to go. I think he sees the game at a different speed, and he's the definition of a hooper. So more than anything, I think he just understands. So we're lucky to have him, and like you said, not just rebounding but steals and all that too. Like, he just has a knack for where the ball is going to be.
He's just a basketball player, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He's a hooper, man. He can get you a bucket. He can get you a steal. He can get you a rebound. We just got to get him to do it all the time. Do those small things. So that's the battle we fight with Tamon. But it's a battle all out of love, because he's a good guy.
And then another core returnee you have this year is Andreas Johnson, 15 points, 3 rebounds, but he hit 71 threes in a short season, and he shoots over 50% from 3. He can really light it up.
Oh man, I've never been around a guy who can catch and shoot like him. Like he's ridiculous, and he's a pro. I mean, and when I say he's a pro, I mean his habits. Like he's the same person every single day. He has the same schedule every single day. And it's so, I haven't been a coach for long, but in my short stint coaching, it's so refreshing when you know what you're going to get from somebody. Because it's not a knock on any of our other guys, but even, everywhere else I've been, it's very rare that you have, a guy or a group of guys that's the same person every single day going through, family troubles, classes, not playing well in basketball. Like, it's very hard to be consistent with all that stuff going on. Like, that's the difficulty of being a college athlete. But, he handles it like a pro, and he's the same guy every single day. So it's very refreshing. It's
got to be nice to have a guy, I mean, if you get toward the end of the shot clock, you put that ball in his hands and something good probably happen.
Yeah, we got a couple guys like that. like I said too, man, he just, you know what you're gonna get. You know, if Dre misses a couple or has a couple bad games, it's okay because eventually it's gonna come out because the way he works on it. Like every time he leaves his hands, I think it's good. So he's got a bright year ahead of him for sure, and we're pumped to see it happen because he deserves whatever he gets.
And then, Coach, filling out that core group of returnees, you got Darren Martin. He scored 15 points a game last year, and Devontae Hayes, very good athlete, 13 points, 3.5 rebounds. You talk about them just a little bit?
Yeah, Darren, obviously he's in that category you were just talking about, getting you a bucket. I mean, I think our into shot clock offense on synergy is really, really efficient. I think a lot of that has to do with Darren. Like at the end of a shot clock, at times run down, Darren's going to be able to go get you one. Javante, he's kind of his, counterpart in the backcourt. Javante brings kind of a different dynamic. I think when Javante's the best Javante, he's locked into perimeter defense, catching and shooting. He's a tough guy, man. He practices competitive every day. It has a lot to do with Javante. I think he, more than anything, he brings that competitive spirit to our team when he's locked in and being the best him. And, those two bounce really well off of each other. So we're lucky to have them there in that backcourt.
You have a few other returners. You might want to mention a couple more, but I know Thomas Haley, Ashton Parker, both young guys coming back.
Yeah, I think Thomas Haley and Ashton Parker are two guys I think they had good years last year, but they're going to show people a lot more of what they can do this year. And, I couldn't imagine being a freshman or a new guy in a college program and having it be a COVID year. Like, just very uncomfortable. You don't really get a feel of what it's actually like. You kind of pump up the intensity of what conference play is like and what everything means, and I still haven't seen it. So there's still going to be some growing pains, but I think people are going to see a lot more from them because they're two very, very versatile players, very competitive, and just great to be around. So, we're pumped for the year Ashton and Thomas are going to have together. And also, I think you're going to see a lot more from two guys like Philip Mullins and Keandre King. They've had a great preseason. They're earning whatever they get this year. They've been the same guy every day. I hope this doesn't jinx them, but they've been great, man. They've been pleasant to be around. They've been getting better every day. So that's all you can really ask for. We're excited for this year, and we feel like we're in a good place and gotten better from last year. And I think that's probably the consistent story around the country right now. Everyone got most of their guys back, and it's getting better. So it's going to be some really competitive basketball this year.
Coach Long, it's kind of interesting what you mentioned. The guys, they played, but nobody has played none of these young guys yet have played a regular year. It's different to make a round around the conference, and then there's a difference between that and going into a packed Kokomo or going to a packed College of Idaho, or it's just a whole different experience, and they still haven't. Well, it's going to be interesting around the country to see how these second year freshmen react to live crowds, I guess is what I'm saying.
It just is different. It's hard to play on the road. Like last year when you'd go into a place, it's very hard to play on the road because you're traveling, you're getting in a van, you're getting out, you're playing. But it's just different too with the noise and is it affecting even one guy out of your five? There's so many factors that go into it, and I think you're seeing a little bit of it right now. And like if you watch college football, like you're seeing some of these packed stadiums, and the home team is just you get more mess ups. I mean, to be honest, like you have more momentum behind you, so it makes it that much more difficult. And that's we have a lot of returners, but we also have a lot of new guys in terms of guys that have played in what our conference is actually like. So we're gonna have some growing pains, and that's okay. That's what a season is there for. So I'm just excited. I'm excited for those growing pains, the fact that we get to deal with them and get better, because we didn't really get to do that much last year, and some teams didn't get to do it at all.
Yeah, I think everybody's excited. I'm just excited for basketball, period. I think I've told everybody that. You mentioned the college football stadiums, and I've been watching. I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day. When you watch these clips like out of Penn State or Michigan, it just seems like fans are just so pent up. And when you watch these, fans are just crazy in these games. I wonder if that's going to carry over into the basketball court.
I hope it does in Beckley.
Yeah.
even, I mean, we went to Rio last year and it was the first game we had played with fans. And even just having, like, I don't know if they did half capacity or whatever. I know our fans couldn't come, but they did a great job. Like, it changed some things. Like, it made it, got us wound up at times. So it was fun. Like, it was a fun game. We lost on a putback at the buzzer, but it was a fun game to be a part of. And I think that's how it's supposed to be, you know? Felt like closed door scrimmages at times last year, but it was still basketball, and we were lucky to be doing it. But now we're starting to see what it's like with fans back. I hope that we can, you know, keep this trending in the right direction in terms of having fans at the arenas, because that's how we want to play, you know.
Yeah, that's what I kept calling it last year. It was like controlled scrimmages is what I kept calling them.
Right. That's what it felt like, man. But we were lucky to be one of the teams doing it, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah. So you've got your returners. You've added in a couple. You already mentioned Gunnar Short and Sal Diop.
Yeah, Sal Diop.
So you've got some good additions, but you know you're really taking on the world here in the preseason. You're going to find out what you're made of. So you got a couple.
Oh my gosh!
You got
real
some
fast.
you got some NC2A D2s, Shawnee State, a team a few people have heard about, and then you're going to go up to Indiana, where I'm going to go up there and meet, and you're going to play some very good teams up in Indiana as well. Talk about your preseason schedule.
I mean, it's definitely the hardest I've been a part of here. You know, I don't know if there's like a perfection in scheduling, and you know, again, I'm new to this, but in my mind, like, you want to challenge yourself as much as you can early, and you want to set your team up to have been in environments at a national tournament level for if you make it. We play these teams at a national tournament level. You could say, like, hey, we played Shawnee State at Shawnee State. All right, you got a back-to-back in national tournament. Okay, we played Grace and Huntington back-to-back. You know, you've been there before. You know what it feels like. And I think that was the most important thing to us in scheduling, because if you look at our non-conference schedule, it's ridiculous in a good way. I'm not going to be one of those guys, I hope, that is like, you know, well, we have a tough schedule. We went 0-10 in the non-conference, but we had a tough schedule. Like, no, we're going in this thing head on. We know it's going to be a learning process, and it's our job to make the most of it. Like, if you look at our non-conference schedule, it's 2 Division II teams to start, which we haven't beaten one since we've been here, and we're around a good league, the MEC Division II. Play 2 Division II teams to start. We go to Shawnee. From Shawnee, we go to Grace and Huntington. Like, we play Grace and Huntington at Grace, and then you get into conference play. You go to Point Park, which we lost that last year. We play Carlo at home, and then we go to Rio. So then from there, you go to the show. You play Southeastern. You play Central Baptist. You know, Central Baptist, I don't know if I'm saying this right. I'm pretty sure they were an at-large bid last year, and they just added a Texas Tech transfer who was a 6th man on their national championship team.
Wow.
And then we played Bluefield College twice. Coach Morgan does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a really tough schedule, and I love it. That's what we want to do here. So,
well, it'll definitely be exciting, and I agree with the way the new rating system works. You've got to have strong strength of schedule. So, you know, I think the day.
Well, not to be sarcastic, but at times last year we were like 650th. We had just beat a Division I team, NCAA, and I looked at the NAIA RPI, and we were behind 3 teams that hadn't won a game yet. We were behind a team that was 0-7, 0-3, and 0-1. So I was like, yeah, we need to, you know, maybe fix some things here, because I don't know how you have won some games and beat a Division I team, but you're behind some teams that are over. So I'll be excited to see how it plays out this year.
Well, hopefully they'll get that all fixed. I'm going to assume they do.
Yeah, I'm not one to complain. I just had to make sure I threw that out there, because I do want it to be a fair shot. So I need your help, Billy.
So in those games, you talked about when you go up, you play Huntington, which they're very good. Corey Alford has really built a very good team up there. And then Grace College, Scott Moore, a guy you and I both know really well. He's got a very good team. They were young last year, but very talented. And I know every game is just another game to you, Coach Long, but you and Grace were scheduled to play, I think that day, the day the tournament got canceled. and you guys never got to play that game. So you're finally going to throw the ball up on November 13th in the Hoops for Cancer tournament up there at Grace College.
Yeah, we were actually in the parking lot of the arena when the game got canceled, and I saw Scott that night, and we were just so excited. We kind of shared game plans of, what we were going to do, and it was just such an unprecedented time, and we were just excited to compete. It was almost like we just felt bad for our teams, and we just wanted the opportunity to compete. And, I don't even know how to describe it. Like our conversation, it was just like, man, just wanted to see how that went, because we both felt so prepared, and it was two great teams, and it was two teams that were completely different too. So more than anything, I just wanted to see how it played out.
Yeah,
and I think that game makes Scott and me better coaches. Like, so, and that's from a selfish perspective. The main perspective was that, more than anything, like Junior Array, Brent Daniels, Dominic King, Kevin Thomas Griffin just ended their career in a room at the hotel saying that you're not going to be able to play your game. So that's the main perspective, and it was just a lot. So, I'm glad we get to run it back. We definitely wish it was, our four seniors got the chance to play in it, but I hope that they can share some of the passion and competitiveness that's going to go into this game. Because, like you said, I love Coach Moore, man. He does a great job, and he's definitely a friend of mine and in the business. And Coach Alford too. Like, I don't know him, but they're doing a great job. We watched him a couple times last year. Watched him a little bit this off season, and he's doing a phenomenal job. So really excited, man. That's about as good of a classic as you can play in preseason. So we're excited.
Yeah, Coach, last season or at Christmas, actually, I spoke to Junior Array. He was one of the guys I had on the Christmas show, and at that point I mentioned that this game was going to happen, and then he said he was going to try to get up there. So Junior, if you listen to this interview, you got to get up to Winona Lake and then get anybody who was on that team with you and get up there. It'd be really great to have a bunch of guys who had, as you said, ended their career in a hotel room, basically. Get as many of them there, and at least recognize them for the game that wasn't played. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, if we can work it out. I don't know. There's still some COVID protocols, but I'd love to maybe see if those older guys would want to go to that. Maybe get them a room or something. But that'd be pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, we'll see if we can work that out. So it sounds like you get your work cut out for you, actually.
Yeah.
That's
what life's about, Billy.
When I just one more thing, you were talking about the season ended last year. It's always a bad taste in your mouth. They end with a loss. Everybody came back. What is the mood of the team been as they finally got back in the gym? How would you describe? Obviously, they're hungry, and this is your third team now. Describe the mood of the team as they came back to get ready for this season.
They won it. Obviously, they couldn't want it anymore. And when I say want it, they want to be special. We work with that passion every day, I think. But we also say, consistency over intensity. Like, yeah, we want it, but it's not March right now. You just gotta put that daily work in. We just have a good group of guys that want to come in and get better every day. So, like Andreas Johnson, he could have gone back home. He's got a double major, and he's away from his family in Sweden for another year. Mm-hmm. But he wanted to be a part of something special, and I think that's what every team in the country is working towards right now. Like I said, we have a group of seniors that wanted to come back and be a part of something special. Walking off that court against Shawnee. I tell Taman all the time, like we were walking off and in the back hallway and walking up to media, and I just told him, like, don't forget what this feels like. I think he operates with that every day because he's gotten a lot better, and we were right there. And when I say we're right there and like a couple shots away, Shawnee controlled that game. They did a great job. Like, there was no doubt in my mind that they were going to win the national championship. But still, it's a basketball game.
That's right.
We were right there. It was a 1-point game with, I want to say, like 6 minutes or maybe 4 minutes. I know we made it a one possession game late.
Yeah, it was one possession game several times. Yeah.
Threes. Yeah, Dre and Taman hit threes back to back and made it a one possession game within like 2 minutes. So, like I said, it's a basketball game. We were right there, and it hurt, man. It hurt. Yeah, it took me a while to watch that one, but Shawnee was special last year. Coach Thomas does a good job. So, I texted him right after, before I even watched the game. I was like, we got to run that one back, man, because that's fun. Like that, like the stuff with Grace too. Like from like a competitive standpoint, like obviously we want that one back. You want to schedule games that are going to feel like that. And I think you get that at Shawnee State. I think you get that up at Grace and playing Huntington. Like, that's basketball country. And then you go to the show and you have all the NAIA teams in one place. Like, I feel like that's what we tried to do with our non-conference as well. Like, Bluefield College is a little bit of a rivalry for us. We've played them every year. They're right here. We're doing a home and home. So all our non-conference games are pretty much like that, man. So you want to put your guys in positions to compete in games that they're going to remember for a long time. So, yeah, long-winded answer, but our guys are working, man. You don't got to worry about that, Billy.
It sounds like you're ready, Coach Long. I cannot wait to see you guys in Indiana and Winona Lake in November. Get to meet some of your guys and get to see you again. Best of luck as you kick off the season. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show, James.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. You had me on early when I got here, so it brings back memories to when I first got here, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, everything you do for the NAIA game, for the Golden Bears. I know you picked us against Grace. I hope we don't let you down this year. I know Scott will let you know about it.
You think?
You got to watch Scott. But he's a great person. But yeah, no, I appreciate you, man. And we're excited to see you up in Winona Lakes this fall.
There is nobody in Winona Lake who's ever going to let me live that down.
No, so we got your back, man. We're coming in there strong. We got your back. Don't worry.
Okay, Coach Long, thank you very much. I appreciate you being on the show, and I'll see you in November.
Yes, sir, brother. See you in November.